All right, well, we'll go ahead and start our last interview for the Blues Backstage here at the Baton Rouge Blues Festival. The stage brought to you by the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities. And I'm trying to figure out how many years of experience we have up here. Is it 300, 400, 500 years? You put them all together. We have legends, and everybody's up here a legend, right?
That's right. Yep.
Gregg Martinez, Tony Goulart, TK Hulin, Johnny Allen. Pleasure for me to do this, and admire of these guys for a long time. Gregg, how did y'all all connect with one another?
Well, Tony and I went to school together.
Okay.
And Johnny Allen was our teacher, science teacher, and he was the principal. So anything we do wrong, it's his fault. But he was already firmly established when we were, and as well as TK. They were already established.
Yeah.
So we used to hero worship them. You know?
Yeah. Now, when did you decide to bring them along? Is it they're part of the Delta Kings? How do y'all perform under what name?
Well, no, I think the thing all started with Jazz Fest about, a few years ago. And they approached me to do Jazz Fest along with Gigi Shin and TK Hulin and things like that. And then every year we come and we would back up some legends, you know. And then Johnny came on board a couple of years ago, and we've been doing a bunch of this stuff now. So kind of caught on.
Cool. So how's it worked out? It's been good?
Yeah, it caught on. You know, people call me, we want you and them Swamp Pop guys.
the Swamp Paws. It's okay
Swamp
to call
Paws,
y'all
that's
that?
what Todd Article calls it.
Yeah, that's where I got that from
The
Todd.
Swamp Paws.
Yeah. Well, there's so much experience here with everybody. Ask each one of y'all, what's been some career highlights for you? Gregg, how about
career
you?
highlights. Well, I mean, I traveled the world, went overseas a lot, which was all cool, and the Atlantic City experience and stuff. But Jazz Fest is a pinnacle for at our age. And then we did a Festival International show in 2017 with TK, Johnny, and Gigi. Gigi died a year later, and that was a huge crowd, and I knew everybody there.
I remember.
I either went to school with them or I was related to them. You know, so that was one of the pinnacles. When I got inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2019, that was a highlight too. Yeah.
And talk a little bit more about your casino experience and just on the East Coast. You were heading up there.
I went on the road in '85 because I had been South Louisiana for about 8 years, and I got to be when I was about 27, 28. I went on the road and started traveling the country, and I wound up in Atlantic City, which was booming at the time. There was only gambling in Atlantic City and Nevada, nothing anywhere else in the country. So, and there was 40 million people that lived within a tank of gas of Atlantic City. I mean, you had to travel to Vegas. People could just drive or take those free buses to Atlantic City. So it was booming. So that was a pretty good scene at the time.
So I know you learned a lot. Was it Ivanka Trump, one of your favorites?
Ivana.
One of your big fans?
The casino was Donald Trump owned the casino, and his wife, Ivana, it was her project, so she signed the paychecks, and she wrote me a note the first time she heard me. I still have the note today.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So Tony Goulart, what's been some highlights for you?
Well, let's see. Not so much lately. Gregg brought me on board for this. You know, I'm a songwriter more than a performer. Now, back in the day, TK robbed me from the cradle when he was a young man and I was a child. And I worked for him for a couple years, I think. A couple years? Yeah, I think a couple of years. Yeah. And so, I after that, I went on and did other things with other musicians and, of course, kept writing. Yeah. And I stopped for a long time.
Okay.
I was making some bad decisions as a young man.
Okay.
And I need to grow up.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, just only slightly.
Okay.
I was making bad decisions as a young man.
Okay.
And I was right there with him.
Yeah, he's making those decisions with me, but I left that. Anyway, I decided at some point that I couldn't continue the lifestyle I was leading, so I went on to church.
Okay.
Yeah, and I raised my kids in church, and after they all grew up, my gorgeous wife said, you need to get out of the house. You're unfulfilled. So anyway, I started writing, and I wrote a song for Chubby Carrier. Got us both a Grammy.
Yeah.
And I got approached to do some other Zydeco songs, and I said, why would I want to write another Zydeco song when the first one I ever wrote got me a Grammy? You know? So anyway, I did that, and I wrote some for Gregg and for other people, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just happy to be back doing what I do, you know?
Yeah.
And having a good time with it.
Yeah. So you that's the Zydeco Junkie CD with Chubby Carrier on the Bayou Soul.
Actually, I wrote the title cut.
Okay.
and I did the vocals and kind of co-produced it with him.
Yeah, yeah. So what was that? Did you get to go out to L.A. for the Grammys with the band, or no? Okay.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I hate to say it, I didn't think the song that I wrote was good enough to get a Grammy.
Well, and here you are.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know? So Earl Sally calls me up and said, "Hey, bro, we won a Grammy." I said, "Oh, dang."
It's a surprise. Everybody's
big
surprised.
surprise.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. TK, what's been some highlights for you? I don't know if we got enough mics. Yeah.
One. My highlight is I had 2 shots of tequila and 1 shot of Crown. That's been my highlight for about 40 years.
Well, let's go back a little before that. Just
Not too far, I forget. Go ahead, Herman. Well, I want to thank you for playing all our records and all those years you've been doing. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Herman.
Thank y'all. I couldn't do what I've done without y'all. So
My pleasure.
Appreciate
Go ahead.
that. But you had a song on the charts way back in.
Yep, 1964. I had a song called "I'm Not a Fool Anymore."
Yes, indeed.
And
other bands still play that.
Pardon me?
Other bands still play that song all the time.
Well, I don't know, but I'm still doing it.
Okay, good. That's all that matters.
I'm not a fool.
Come on now.
That's the one.
Yes, indeed.
And it was number 42 on the Billboard.
Yeah, wow.
I think I sold about, I don't remember, but I didn't get paid nothing.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I was signed up with, Huey Mo.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't make no money, but
Yeah.
I made money on my personal appearances.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just
No, go ahead.
Just letting you talk. Now, this time of year, a song that always comes back. And
Graduation Night.
Graduation Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me the story behind that
Well,
song.
the graduation night wasn't meant for me. Robert Thibodeau, that wrote all my songs, it was meant for a guy in New Iberia named Gene Rickey,
Okay.
a hell of a good singer. And Robert called him up and said, "Look, I got a song for you to sing." He said, "Just give him a call. I'm ready for you to do Graduation Night." Well, Gene Rickey never called him. So he called me. He said, "Look, I've been trying to get in touch with Gene Rickey. You want to do that song?" I said, "Hell yeah, I'll do it." So that's what came about. I went to do the song, and bam. Every year, like, please come home for Christmas,
Yes,
graduation
indeed. Yeah.
night.
Oh, yeah. This is the time of year people start playing.
Yes.
Yeah. And you,
As you walk down the aisle, graduation night. Go ahead, sing it, Herman.
no, I'll let you handle
Okay.
that. No, you'll do it much better than me. Now, I like the original version better than, because you recut it, right? A few years after that, because 2 versions out there.
I recorded up there in Bogalusa.
Okay.
But a lot of people like the first version
Yes,
of Graduation Night.
Okay.
And we did that graduation in a small studio. I mean, just, as a matter of fact, I'm not a fool anymore. We did it in 1 cut
Okay, really?
with a case of beer.
Yeah.
And I did, I'm not a fool. That's it. And me and my daddy took the 45 and we left Lafayette and we hit every radio station from Lafayette to Port Arthur.
Really?
And Port Arthur, that's when it took off.
Yeah, wow. That's something.
And I'm still playing music, and I started when I was 13. And I'm 28 right now. I'm 28. And
So 15 years.
15 long years, man. And me and Johnny started the same. Johnny had been singing about how long, Johnny? Oh, excuse me. He's taking a nap.
Come on, John.
72 years.
72.
How long?
72 years.
So he started at 13 as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. 13 is the lucky number around here. But TK,
When
tell
me and Tony were 13, Johnny was beating our butt with a paddle at school.
School principal. How have you preserved your voice? Because so many musicians lose their voice, but you've always had that strong voice. I remember when you used to sing at Maximilian's at the Hilton in Lafayette. Have big crowds every
Well, let me tell you how I
weekend.
did it. A lot of operations.
Okay.
No, I had nodules and, like everybody else.
Yeah.
But the good Lord, the last operation I had, it worked.
Wow.
I've been singing since, well, there we go again. It's 30 years, not 28.
But
Johnny, you next?
Johnny, 72 years in music. Huh?
TK, why do you lie so much? Okay, just kidding.
So the tequila and the Crown.
Johnny, what's been some highlights for you?
Well, definitely, I would say about 19, in the 19, yeah, hold on. In the 1978, I get a phone call from Floyd Swallow. He said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Well, yeah, why?" He said, "You've got a song going great guns for you, especially in England." I said, "What are you talking about? What song?" He said, "I said the same thing too. I didn't know." He said, "Promised Land." I said, "Promised Land? That's the last song." I said, "We cut that song because we needed one more for an album." He said, "Yes. And also it was put on the B-side of the 45 that I released." So to make a long story short, the record, Elvis Presley's version came out in 1971 or 72, somewhere in there. This first incident was around 1971. And the year after, I guess Elvis's record company, RCA, saw that the thing had potentials. So they released his version of it, and guess where mine went? In the trash can. You're right.
It outdone yours?
It outdid mine, yes, definitely. But in 1970, around 1977, a guy by the name of Charlie Gillett decided, and he and Dave Robertson, who was Jimi Hendrix's road manager, decided to form their own label, Oval Stiff, and re-released the song. This time Elvis had died, so there was no competition. And can you believe this? But the record took off again.
Wow.
No, you're looking at two different generations of people right there. 1971, they were 8, 9 years older then, but it seems like another crowd of younger people took a liking to the song, and again it went up the charts. And Herman, I have to tell you something that right now that I've never told anybody else in any interview. That song right there sold a million copies without ever getting on the charts in Europe.
That's true.
It never did get on the charts.
Yeah.
It sold a lot of records because it was released on so many. I counted a few weeks back. It's been released over 50 times on compilations
50.
worldwide.
Wow.
And when I say worldwide, I mean Australia, Japan, countries like that. Not only Europe, but Asia also. And it eventually amounted to a million-selling record. But it never made the first time it never made the charts because Elvis kicked it off. The second time it didn't make the charts because I guess people had heard, a lot of them had bought the copy already, so they didn't buy another copy of it. But I'm glad to say that big major record companies decided to release it on releases that one of them I can think of is entitled, I think, the best country songs in the world ever. And it sold right at 400,000 copies. Just that one.
Just that. Wow.
Just this one sold
That's
over
amazing.
400,000 copies.
Wow.
So
So what was the secret, Johnny? It's different because, you sing, but Belton Richard played accordion on it.
Listen, I agree with you totally, Herman. I'll give credit to Belton Richard's accordion ride on there for the big reason why that song sold so much. Because the musicians like Nick Lowe, Elvis Costello, and a bunch of others, they all loved the song because of the difference. The other artists like Dave Edmunds had recorded it. But when they heard that accordion ride on there, it grabbed them. It grabbed them, and I give credit to Belton, who did a superb ride on that accordion.
That's very good.
Super good ride.
So you have a gold record on your wall.
I have a gold record on my wall.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It took many, many years. And I would have never guessed that it would be a B-side of one of my records over there.
You just never know sometimes.
You never know.
Yeah.
So I can brag about this, that there are others, you know, that were released as B-sides that went #1.
Yeah.
Well, mine did too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because, yeah, Don't Mess With My Tutu,
Don't-
Rockin' Sydney.
Exactly.
That was on the B-side of an
That's
album.
exactly
and
right.
Became a multi-million seller all over the world. Same kind of like with your record.
I know.
Yeah.
Floyd is swimming in money.
Now, just
Oh.
Floyd, you get some checks too, or you get some mailbox money, or
Oh, yes, I still get royalties.
okay, all right, good.
I'll
That's a
tell-
good thing.
But I'll tell you what, since the introduction of the new record releases, the royalty checks have dropped drastically. Drastically.
Yeah, that's
And
a shame.
I'm not ashamed to say this, but I was getting checks for little, you know, Cajun here from Louisiana, a little swamp pop artist here from Louisiana. I was getting checks of $8,000 to $10,000 a year.
Wow.
That dropped down to like $500-600 a year. So you can see when you hear people telling you that the record business is no longer what it is,
Yeah.
believe them.
Yeah, yeah.
Believe
Yeah,
them.
I hate to see that, and I've seen so many in our area too, with streaming, produce songs and get a check and do fairly well, but get a check for 5 cents or 10 cents. The stamp costs more than the royalty check. It's crazy.
Listen, I get a check every once in a while from Amazon, and I have them in a scrapbook that I keep. I didn't cash it. No, I didn't cash it. I promise you. I keep it in a scrapbook. I have about 5 or 6 of them. I get checks from Amazon for 1 cent. Now tell me that makes sense. Gregg's not that cheap.
But Johnny, how is it performing with your students now? These guys were.
It's great.
You were teaching.
It is great that, you know, knowing that I had to use the paddle on their behinds. Never did I see one bringing a paddle with them, you know, to get even with me.
Well, that's great. That's great. Good.
Well, when I was first approached, I called Johnny several times in the past. I said, Jazz Fest called and they want you to. Well, he said, no, I'm obligated to this band, Southwest
Louisiana
Lake Charles.
Express.
Yeah, and then there was some other events, but he always said no. And then finally, Festival International called in 2017. Can you get Johnny? I said, well, let me try one more time because it's local, it's in Lafayette, maybe he'll do it. So he said, your band better know my stuff. He said, and I'm not rehearsing, and they better know my stuff because I still got that paddle.
That's
I said,
true.
yes, sir, Mr. Guillat.
He's not lying. It's true.
So, Gregg, just put in the words, playing with especially these two legends. I mean, these guys you grew up admiring and singing their songs.
It's great. I mean, you know, who knows how long we have, and I mean, we're not young either. But
Excuse me, I seem to notice that you keep telling my age every time you introduce me.
well, yeah, but it's not true, is it? No, it's a thrill. It really is.
Yeah.
It helps me. It helps us keep them going. You know.
Yeah. So, how much longer you keep this going? Just a little entourage here.
Hey, as long as we can, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony's got enough. Now, who are some other musicians in this part of this? When you play?
Tracy Menard.
Okay.
Just we hadn't even done a gig yet.
Yeah.
He signed up. My bass player after 9 years, he kind of retired.
Okay.
And so Tracy from Fifth Avenue is coming on board. That's going to be a nice little.
Yeah.
And we got Mike Ritter from my horn players. We're getting trumpet player James Spells from Baton Rouge. He can't see anymore. He's had some vision problems. So I got Mike Ritter, who's a phenomenal player. Andy Bourgeois on keys. He's from Baton Rouge, phenomenal player. So the band's really doing well. Still got Claude Salas. He's the horn arranger on trombone. And
Now, when you play, do you market your music as swamp pop, or what do you call it?
old school rhythm and blues. Swamp pop, the name doesn't carry that much weight different at certain areas, you know.
Right, yeah.
New Orleans, there's no category for swamp pop in the offbeat awards or, you know.
Yeah, and that's something I want to ask.
But at the same time, I'm still under that umbrella.
Yeah. Ask each one of y'all the future of swamp pop, because, you know, in our area, we have festivals all the time. You hear a lot of Cajun music, a lot of Zydeco, but not swamp pop too much.
Right.
So what do you think is going to happen to it?
Well, there's a lot of young ones doing it, and they're not in Southwest Louisiana as much.
In New
Ryan
Orleans.
Foray, those guys are on the West Bank. A lot of it on the West Bank. So a lot of young guys are doing it, and they're going to carry it on.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony?
I don't know. I
Get-
never
grab
really,
your mic, yeah.
I never really signed on to be a swamp pop guy. To be honest with you.
Okay, all right.
And I'm gonna be real honest.
Yeah,
I had quite a bit of disdain for swamp pop.
okay. Why so?
Because I felt like that's the old people.
That's for old, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But over time, I mean, I actually grew to love it.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I've heard young Cajun musicians say the same thing,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's for the old folks. I don't want to do anything
well,
that...
I was that guy. I was
Yeah.
that guy. But after, like I said, if it wouldn't been for that guy right there,
Yeah, yeah,
and then I was young, and I never forgot.
yeah,
You know?
that's cool.
And it's a pleasure to do this again. And
Yeah.
run into some old people like that guy over there. That guy over there with the sunglasses that's looking
He's
away.
pointing at me.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, as a,
I did ask him. He asked me, say, can you give me a lift to Baton Rouge? I said, if you change my geography grade in the third semester.
You imagine
you still
that.
got your report card?
He probably does, yeah. He remembers everything.
Herman, can I insert something?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Swamp pop music is a very sore subject with quite a few people. There is a museum in Ville Platte right now, and the leader of it, I would say the curator of it, is Sharon Fontenot.
Yes.
And she's really, really done a lot of work.
It's a nice
Well, we
museum,
had a
very nice.
meeting with the lieutenant governor about a month ago for that. And I'm not castigating anything against Cajun music or Zydeco music, but it seems like anything that is advertised in the state as far as tourism is concerned, it's strictly, I mean, they'll say Cajun and Zydeco. Swamp pop is never included. And I pointed this out to Billy Nungas. I said, Billy, I want to read you a list right now. I said of songs, swamp pop songs that have sold, that have made the charts. I said there were 18 of them. One of them, I'm leaving it up to you, by Dale and Grace, went #1. Sea of Love by Phil Phillips went #2 on the charts. Yet we're not getting any recognition from
Right.
these people.
Right.
So
Swamp pop as a whole has outsold Cajun
it's
and Zydeco
outsold Cajun and
together.
Zydeco.
Yeah.
Swamp pop, I mean, Zydeco has had one chart song,
Yeah.
Matutut.
Yeah.
Cajun music has had 3 songs on the charts since the 1940s. Swamp pop music has had 18 songs on the chart.
Yeah.
Now tell me that more recognition shouldn't be given.
Yeah, absolutely.
The lieutenant governor is working on it.
Okay. I was about to ask what response you got from him.
Very positive.
Good, good.
Very positive response, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Fact is, some of the magazines that I've been seeing lately are mentioning it. And I
Good.
understand there's a huge museum that is being built in New Orleans. I don't know if you people have been following that or not,
Okay.
but it's going to be on the same level as the Rock and Roll Museum in Cleveland.
Okay.
And they're hoping, I mean, you can bet on it. There will be pressure put on these people to,
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
to
yeah.
mention swamp pop, to bring up swamp pop in there.
Yes, indeed. Well, while you got the mic, the future of swamp pop, what do you see happening?
The future of swamp pop, we have several new artists, like Gregg said, that have recorded. Ryan Foray is one of them. Don Rich is another one. What's that little guy from Mississippi? I can't think of his name right.
I'm not sure if I know him.
Anyway, these are just Junior Dugas, who is a distant relative of mine.
Yeah.
They're all recording swamp pop music, which is, good. It means that they're keeping the music alive.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what's happening too, some songs are being recorded with that same type of feel, but it's not called swamp pop, like Travis Mott with his the slow drag number he did, and then
Yeah.
some others.
Yeah.
Like Shoulda Coulda, you know, the song
Yeah.
from Travis.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cajun artists that are doing swamp pop.
Yeah,
Della
yeah.
Fosse, they
Yes.
they incorporated a lot of swamp pop in their sets.
Yeah, yeah. So it may not be called that, but that sound is still there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Where does swamp pop come from?
Well,
Where that came from?
From England.
From England, yeah, yeah.
From
The
England.
term came from England.
That's where it came from out of the country.
Who originated it? I don't think anybody knows. For a good while, I thought the first time I went out there, a buddy of mine, Bill Miller, wrote an article on me, and he mentioned the name Swamp Pop. And then John Broven, when his book came out, he did a whole section on Swamp Pop.
Right.
But Floyd Swallow, Travis Mott and I were at his house one day just visiting, and we brought up the subject of the term Swamp Pop. He said, I told him, I says, I think it came out around 1978, something like that in England. He said, no. He said, in 1961 or 62, he says, I had a bunch of guys from England that came over here. And one of them made the remark, Floyd, we Britishers love your swamp pop music. This is in 1961 or 62.
Really? Wow.
So really the term was being used back then.
Yeah.
So who knows who originated it?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd never heard that story before. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But nobody knows. So TK, what do you think the future of swamp pop?
Oh, well, a lot of guys.
Grab the mic so I can hear.
I mean, a lot of guys passed on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I hope they keep doing the swamp pop, like Johnny was saying. You know, like Ryan Foray,
Yeah.
strictly swamp pop.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of bands that do the swamp pop to keep it alive. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if I pass on, maybe Herman, you can start singing
yeah,
swamp pop.
right. No, don't
Yeah, I
count
know.
on. Don't count on that. No.
Yeah, you can, Herman.
No.
I know you can, man. You got it. You got soul.
Oh well. Lessons from TK. That'll be a good thing. Good thing. Well, TK, how you doing? You been in a chair for a while now?
Well,
Just what's going on?
When I go on stage, I tell everybody that the reason why I'm in a wheelchair, I didn't get my check yet.
Okay.
So when I get my check, I'm getting out. You know,
Okay.
one call, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that big check, brother.
All right. The check's on the way.
It's on the way.
All right.
I'm
Good
telling
deal.
you.
Good deal. Greg, as we wrap up, what's coming up? What's going on?
Man, it's like we had the COVID thing, which just
Yeah.
screwed up everything.
Yeah, stopped
But,
so much.
Things are looking better. So next Friday, this coming Friday, we got Jazz Fest, the same show.
Okay.
And then the next day, I'll be in Pensacola for the Crawfish Festival.
Okay.
And then May the 10th, we're going to be at the McCready show, which my trombone player calls it the McCready.
The McCready show.
He said, "What's that, French?" I said, "Yes, McCready." He said, "Oh, it's McCready." and Karen Crow May the 10th, but then TK and John are going to join us for the Rhythms on the River in Lafayette on May the 18th.
Yeah.
And it got postponed from April 6th. It rained.
Okay.
And then May 27th, we're going to be all together for the Jambalaya Festival in Gonzales.
All right. Cool. So things are still happening.
Yeah,
Things still
yeah.
going. Yeah. How people can keep up with you?
Website, GreggMartinez.com.
Okay.
Gregg's got 2 G's at the end.
Yeah. And you have a Facebook? Well, I know you
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
but
we got-
you
yeah.
use that promoted
Yeah,
too?
we all got the Facebook thing,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Good.
And when we do the Rhythm on the River, Herman's going to do a couple of songs with us.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to do some
Right.
Sam and Dave.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
yeah.
Sam, he's going to be Dave.
Yeah.
So
there
so
you go.
practice.
All right.
You want to sing a little song right
I
now?
can
me and you together?
pantomime like Milli Vanilli. Do you know how they got in trouble with that? I'll lip sync. Yeah. So a round of applause, Johnny Allen, Tony Goulart, TK Hulin, and
Thank you.
Gregg Martinez. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.